I'm joined in the studio now by Jackie Hames, a former detective, and Namita Prakash from the Survivors Trust. Jackie, is it acceptable at all?
Well, no, it's clearly not acceptable.
Understandable, though.
Yes, you do understand what's going on. The crime figures have always been notoriously unreliable. You know, I can remember as a young police officer, whether you classified damage to a window, for instance, as an attempted burglary or a criminal damage, was your judgment. And volume crime in particular, there's always been that grey area as to your judgment as to what that crime is, and you have to make it. Nowadays, officers aren't always actually even going to the scene of a crime before it's being classified. And also, we have the situation where we've got insurance claim type crimes where people perhaps want to upgrade their phones and therefore they're reporting their phones stolen. There's so many issues which actually skew these figures, and to be able to judge and put resources based on those figures is wrong.
So, Namita, bureaucracy, underfunding, police perhaps not understanding crime as they should. How does this make you feel then when it's reported that 1 in 5 rape cases or potential rape accusations are downgraded to no crime?
I think it's very concerning. It's very important to understand here that as it is, rape cases are quite reported on a very low level. So it's estimated less than 20% of actual rape cases or sexual violence crimes are reported. And then if you look at this figure, what's come out today, even for the, those which are reported, 25% of them are not being recorded, so that's slowing down even what's being reported. And then that affects how a victim is going to go to the police, because already they are not going to the police. Majority of them are not going to the police. And after, when they are going to the police and then they experience this, it's going to further demoralize them from reporting to the police or from seeking any help, because it's all about believing in themselves, because they're so scared of somebody not believing.
Yes, and with that in mind, Namita, it's difficult, isn't it? Because would you, in some ways, rather not know these figures because they're very off-putting for people?
Yes, in one way you can say yes, but the important fact is we need to understand what is wrong or where the system is not functioning as it should be, and then what can be done to rectify that. That's very important, isn't it?
Do you agree with Jackie that bureaucracy and caseload is part of it, or do you think it's deeper than that? Do you think some police officers are failing in their duty?
I think it's deeper than that, because we all are product of the society, and we come with our own myths and prejudices. We come with our own cultural baggages and how we've been brought up, and that all affects how we see a crime has been committed, especially sexual violence, because it's perceived differently.
Yes.
There is a lot of sexism involved, so it affects everything, I think.
Galling for police officers and ex-police officers who want to do the right thing. What would you change first?
I think what has been lost is a huge amount of experience in recent years, particularly, we've had 20% cuts across the board. A lot of police officers who are on that front line at that very first initial report, which is so important to how the victim is perceived they're going to be dealt with. They've been dealt with by somebody who's very young, inexperienced, and hasn't got a wealth of experience of how to deal with victims properly. And that's not about money, that's about experience, and that's about training.